Obviously, you're a big person in the pressure washing game, and I was super excited to speak with you. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself and about what kind of a business you run?
Yeah, my name's Corey. I am in the pressure washing industry. We have a company here in Washington State. And just kind of like a little backstory, I had a business in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm originally from the South. And I started that company as like a 19-year-old kid. It was a side hustle at the time. I was flipping cars originally and bought my first house that way, hustled a little pressure washing company up together, scaled that to like, I don't know, $500,000 bucks. And I had, I don't know, 12 employees. And it was a total mess, complete mess. It was crazy. Lost money. Nobody was getting anything done right. So I kind of just fired everybody and just decided to work by myself. But I knew that I could scale a company. I knew it and I felt like I had failed and that I wanted to give it another try. And I lived in Atlanta for so long that, every road I looked down, I felt like I had been down that road before and I wanted a you know, fresh scenery. And so we just packed everything up and moved to Washington State, 3,300 miles from home. I knew nobody here. And I started from, nothing. There was nothing here. There was no company. I didn't know anybody. And my goal was to scale $1 million business as fast as I possibly could. So currently, and essentially, I hit the $1 million mark on year three. So in 36 months, we were at $1 million bucks. And year four, we were a $2 million company. So 48 months from zero to $2 million. We have,
Wow.
we maintain between 20, 25 employees, a couple part-timers in there. But that's where we're at. We're in Washington State. And yeah, I love it. I love business in general.
That's amazing. So from 0 to 2 million to 2 million in 48 months.
48
Now,
months.
now hang on, back up for a second because I'm curious. You are slanging cars at 19 years old and built a $500,000 business. Tell me a little bit about that.
That was rough. I had a partner at the time and it was a little side hustle. We washed cars on dealership lots. We would wash like every Thursday and Friday. We would wash like, I don't know, 1,500 cars every Thursday and
Wow.
Friday, between those 2 days. And we were doing them for like 75 cents, $1.25 a car. You're just spraying water on them and shaming them dry. And, that was like ridiculous. I thought like when I was doing that, I thought that that was like good income. Realistically, looking back, I was actually losing money. So I used to think that like all income was good income, like all revenue was good revenue. Let's just put a bunch of revenue on there. And realistically, it's not. So you have to, be very aware when you're building. And, most guys get stuck in they think they're entrepreneurs or they think they have a company or a business, but they're a slave to it. They're the only ones there. They're really not making money. I can tell you, there's a ton of guys in the industry that don't realize they're actually paying their clients to work for them.
Hmm.
So that was a big epiphany for me. We jumped from washing cars on dealership lots to fleets of trucks to heavy equipment to detailing for like we had three dealerships, like a Kia, a BMW, and a Honda dealership that we were responsible for maintaining. It was a mess. I mean, oh my goodness, it was a mess. I I did get to do a lot of things. I've been able to travel the world, believe it or not, and at least make my own schedule and have my own time. It's so funny. We went to Italy and for like 3 weeks, and essentially the business fell apart. It was like in shambles when I came back. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like that was a turning point for me where like stuff was not getting done. And I'm like, oh my God, I am firing everybody. So I just felt like I had failed. And I was like, I got to give this a go. I have it in me. I want to figure it out. I was kind of searching for that when I moved out to Washington. Everybody knows Brandon Vaughn in the pressure washing industry. Shout out Brandon, shout out Conquer Coaching.
Yeah.
So Brandon at the time was posting a lot of videos And I started to kind of like catch on and watch those videos. I couldn't afford Conquer when I moved out to Washington. Um, and even when I did join Conquer, I still couldn't afford it. I even lied about my revenue to get in there, but I'm a quick implementer. Coaching is great, right? If you're a go getter and you implement some of the stuff that people are telling you that where they've been around the corner, they've done different things, and you go and you implement and you just every day just act relentless, you can achieve whatever you want. Um, I see people join coaching groups and they think that the coaches are going to do it. They're going to spoon feed you and they're going to do it yourself, do it for you. That's not going to happen. You have to grind
Yeah.
day in and day out. And so that's what I did. The very first year, I couldn't even afford it. We did $267,000 in revenue. I remember it like yesterday. And then 2020 hit right as soon as I joined Conquer. So, we had COVID and all that, put a halt on everything. I was able to kind of halt the business a little bit. I had saved actually a ton of cash. Actually, we did 267,000. I saved about $100,000 in cash from 2019. Luckily, I did. I lived frugal as all get out. And in 2020, I was able to actually float a lot of that crap, essentially. I came out of pocket, 60 grand just to like pay people to sweep the shop and just like make sure that they had a paycheck. Cause I knew COVID was just going to, it was right in the busy season. March is usually when the pressure washing season kicks off. I knew that people would still need the service. It was on pause. And I knew that when everything opened up, that it would just cave in like a waterfall. It was all going to come in. So essentially, long story short, 267 in 2019 was the revenue. And in 2020, we did $750,000.
Ooh, triple.
So we basically just tripled the growth there. And yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Now, how did you transition from the car washing to pressure washing? Like what did you know about pressure washing? What made you get into it?
Just it was a while until I figured it out. It was a while, probably. I couldn't even tell you. My head wasn't in it. It was a little side hustle that I had a couple of people, a couple of my friends go wash those cars. So I wasn't thinking anything of it. That just provided me, 1,000 or 2,000 bucks a week to, pay my mortgage and I just flipped cars daily. And it was like you really couldn't screw it up. You're spraying water on them and you're rinsing them off. So there wasn't really any like a ton of risk there. So, um, when I went full time, I was like, like let's get more dealerships. We got some more dealerships, and then I was like, let's make more money. So then I kind of went more full time into it. I kind of got tired of the car industry. Um, so,
So
I
you
don't
were
know
in,
what.
you were kind of in the car industry, you're kind of washing cars and you had the equipment, you had the kind of some of the infrastructure, and then maybe you were looking for a higher ticket item, and that's when you
I
started thinking about washing houses basically.
Yeah, exactly. And it led from I've always been a big car guy. So it led from washing cars to going to washing like bigger trucks, trash
Yeah.
trucks, fleets of semi trucks. And then that sucked. I realized that sucked really bad. And so I then transferred into like washing heavy equipment. And that was like hard to scale, hard to get an employee to do the detail work that I would do personally.
Yeah.
So had some scalability issues there, and then I actually sold my business. I'm blessed because I did have an account that paid me 60 to 70 grand a year, and I could work 10 hours a week if I wanted to. But I wasn't happy with that. It was just like my mind. I'm like I got to be busy,
Yeah.
and I'm not okay with just sitting around. I'm not okay with just like things being the way they are. I want to push the envelope. I want to continuously be challenged, and I get bored. I don't want to sit
Yeah.
around. So I was blessed to have that account. I actually sold that to another guy in Atlanta, So he mainly just wanted that one account. I sold that to another guy, and he was in the house washing space. And so he kind of, as we transitioned, I helped him take over my company, and then I helped him work his company. And I was like, holy crap, we just like washed a house in like, 3 hours for $2,200. And we did the windows, we did, the roof and the siding, and we were in like a $5 million neighborhood. I'm like, I could get used to this.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, all right, sold him the business and then sold my house, moved to Washington. And I was like, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's to talking about coaching, like what impact coaching has had on your business. And yeah. I don't know
it's,
more about coaching.
it fast tracks you. If you're willing to put in the work, I would, it, there's a coach within that group, Caleb. I can't even like pretend this is my verbiage, but Caleb said to me one time, he said, what is the cost of not having a coach? You're going to lose time, you're going to lose money, you're going to lose, all this stuff. And what is the cost of not having a coach? If you are a person that can implement and is ready to go, and you need help and guidance, and you're willing to put in the work, and you're absolutely passionate and relentless, coaching is for you because they're going to fast track you.
Hmm.
It's like it's just I am very grateful to all of it. It taught me how to scale a business. Now I wouldn't say that it taught me everything. It led me down the correct path. If you're looking for the right answers, you want to aim in the direction you're aiming for and be relentless in searching until you find the correct answer. It may not be your coach that has the answer, but your coach might know somebody that has the answer. And I just make my way through whatever I can. I'm all about knocking down walls. Let's knock
Yeah.
them down. Let's go.
Oh yeah. So let's talk shop for a little bit. I want to know which services do you offer in your business?
So we do roof cleaning, gutters, windows, siding, concrete,
All kind of exterior stuff.
all that stuff. We're mainly residential. I like fast cash. So I like to be able to collect a check right at the end of the day. And commercial, you got a longer cycle. There's guys that go full on commercial. You can get some big tickets. It's tricky. You could be waiting 90 days for your money. Maybe the project took 60 days and you're paying out, $60,000 in wages, right? And then you got to wait 90
Yeah.
days for that money to come in. And then by the time the money comes in, the money's already spent. That's a vicious cycle. And kudos to those that get out of that. So I just never really got into that cycle. Now we do have the ability to take those jobs on now and float, payroll and stuff like that. When the check comes in, it's like, woo. But, we don't, I don't hunt a ton of commercial. I like the residential stuff. Just really love it. I don't know why. I just like to be able to collect the money every day.
So so you're able to grow your business really quickly, and I'm sure that between the coaching and personal experience, you learned a thing or two about scaling a company, being as you've done it for your previous businesses and helped other people do it. I'm going to ask you a general question. How do you grow a business? How do you grow and scale a company? And, for those of us that are, our generation that want things yesterday and quick, what advice would you give to someone that's trying to really push and get their goals and achieve quickly? And is it possible to get quickly? Is that even a bad question?
Right. Yeah.
How
So,
do you grow a company?
Grant Cardone, he says, um, don't get rich quick, get rich for sure. Okay. So that means, I'm sure you can get rich quick somewhere. Right. But, if you're scaling a company, you have it there, you're not going to get rich quick, get rich for sure. Okay. But, it's not a get rich quick scheme. There's a lot that goes into it when it comes to scaling a business. Math is the path. Okay. Scaling a business is a giant math equation. You just got to know the numbers that you need to plug in. You need to know the formula, essentially. There's different versions of the formula and how you get there, but it's a math equation. It's you reverse engineer your goal, and people that don't even have a business, can even do this. Like if you have a goal, you reverse engineer it. You start off with your goal. Okay. So like if my goal is this, now what are the tasks I need to get there? And then put those in order and start knocking out those tasks. When it comes to a business, you start with your revenue goal. What is your revenue goal? My revenue goals, let's say $100,000. Okay. Well, what's my average ticket? My average ticket is $1,000. Okay. What's 100 grand divided by 1,000? That is what? What's the 100? I
100.
need to do 100 jobs. I'm just going off the top of my head. So now I know I need 100 jobs. Okay. Well, how many people do I need to market to get those 100 jobs? Well, it comes down to the estimates. What's your closing rate? My closing rate is 50%. So there you go. It tells you that I need to do 200 estimates. I'm going to close 50 of those. I'm going to close 50% of those. I'm going to close 100 jobs at $1,000. That's going to lead me to my goal. And you're just reverse engineering it to that. You figure out what your estimate cost is. My cost per estimate is, let's say it's $75. I need to run 100 estimates. So therefore, I'm going to spend $7,500 in marketing.
Yeah.
So
Can
it's
you tell me about your estimate process? How do you how do you prefer to do in-person estimates or on the phone estimates?
absolutely. I love in-person estimates. For one, I am big on customer experience. Okay. Customer experience is the most important thing in business. Okay. People are, do not go do business with people they do not enjoy. Okay. That's everywhere. You can actually sell a shitty product, but have a good experience selling it, and people will come back. Okay. So you don't even have to have a perfect product. If your customer experience is on point, so you're going to do fine. That's the reason I like in-person estimates. It sets the tone. It lets the customer know who they're working with right off the bat. We give them a presentation folder. We break down the quote. We're able to actually visually walk around the house, take photos, make sure that we're setting the expectations correctly. How the hell am I going to do that from the phone? Like, or from a Google photo picture. And here's the other thing is like, most of these companies are doing this stuff from the computer, but when their guys get out there, they're dragging their guys through the mud because there's all this stuff that they never anticipated because they weren't even on site to do it. And then they expect their guys to upsell more stuff while they're out there. Your guys don't want to upsell more stuff. They got a calendar that says, we got to do roof and gutters today. And after I'm done doing roof and gutters, I get to go home. And then you're expecting them to upsell more services. Like,
Hmm.
come on, get out of here.
Yeah.
We go estimate that whole thing, set the expectations correctly, give them the best price that we possibly can, put them on the schedule. They talk with the office. And then, we do exactly what we say we're going to do all the way through. And we give them updates and, messages. We use House Call Pro. So you got these little cool text messages. I'm on my way. And it's very pretty customer facing, app that we use, dispatching app. So
Yeah.
kudos to House Call Pro.
I'm gonna ask you some questions that I saw that were really common for pressure washers on Google. Okay.
Yeah.
One of the famous ones is people are always typing into Google how to get more pressure washing jobs.
Yep.
So, what would you be your response to that?
So it's marketing, right? Most guys that get in the industry, they spend, thousands of dollars on wraps and shiny trucks. I think it's I don't want to say it's hilarious, but it's kind of funny, right? They think that the shiny wraps and the trucks are going to actually get customers calling them. It does not. Okay, so that's like one thing that like probably shouldn't come first, but nobody ever knows that. So that is kind of funny to watch. Marketing comes first. So there's a lot of cheap things that you can do to market customers. One of the cheapest things you can do is email marketing, like right off the bat, get you a good program, load you a ton of commercial clients in there and set them on a 12-month or, 2-year email sequence. And you'll see jobs coming in. That's one of the cheapest things that you could possibly do. You can use Facebook ads. It's real easy. You can literally watch YouTube videos on how to do Facebook ads. We run a ton of Facebook ads. You can do Google AdWords. There's another one. So a lot of my money, goes into marketing. those clients, and also the customer experience, asking for referrals. As long as you're giving a customer a good experience, it's okay to ask for referrals. They're going to refer their friends and family. Another thing is making sure that you're door knocking around all your estimates, everything that you're doing, even if you're the only guy doing the work, like, why wouldn't I just go knock the neighbor's door and try and wash their house for a couple hundred extra bucks or whatever?
Do
So,
you have a do you have a script? Do you have like a script that you go off when you go door knocking? Do you like door knocking
you know, I'm a
yourself or
big I'm a big improv guy, but typically you want to kind of help people. So like if you're scared to knock doors, I would just go knock the neighbor's door and say, "Hey, I just want to let you know I'm gonna be, doing a house wash, roof wash over here. If you hear the engines running, that's what's going on next door. If you would actually, whenever you're done, feel free to, or whenever I'm finished, feel free to come out and take a look. If you'd like me to give you an estimate or something like that, you like what you see, I can even get it done today, or, just different things. You can go over there and explain it to them. So one big thing with door knocking is don't go to the door thinking you got to sell. Okay. Go to the door wanting to help and introduce yourself. And then the sales will come. Don't force yourself to get in this terrible mindset that, oh, I've got to go sell the neighbor. I got to go sell the neighbor. Go with the mindset to introduce yourself and help the neighbor. Okay. The sales will come. Okay. So
Mhm.
that's what I have my guys do.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Now they
a lot
don't
of
do it all
people
the time, but
a
sometimes you got to
lot of
whip
people
them.
get in the a lot of people get in the mentality of, yeah, I need to make this sale. I have to make 6 sales today, but they forget that what you're trying to do is solve a problem for the customer. And if you can do that, then the customer will give you whatever money they have, whatever the money they value
Yep.
that problem at being solved for. That's a really
Sales
big
is
one.
really service. Sales is service. How can I serve others?
Hmm. How big do you want your business to get?
I'm okay with where it's at. I'm kind of like, I got a couple other things going on, and I feel like I've reached the cruising altitude. One thing that I kind of, finally just now figured out was I had this audacious goal. I was like, oh, let's go to 5 million bucks. Never once did I think to check how big my market was. And so here I am, like pushing, screaming growth, overspending on marketing and this and that, and just overspending on payroll. And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get to 5 million. Then I realized, holy crap, I'm only targeting a 500,000 people. I mean, the county I lived in Georgia, just the county had 1 million people, and we're covering like 3 or 4 counties here, and there's only 400,000 people there. I'm like, okay, so let's just call it quits. I've been just reinvesting the profits, trying to push it, but now I'm like, let's dial in, let's hone our craft, let's get better at our customer experience. Let's train, let's dial back in, train our teams better. Let's lock everything down. Let's watch our spending, and let's just be profitable. So
Yeah.
I kind of dialed into that. We have a general manager, we have an office admin essentially. We have 2 sales guys, and then we have all the crews, and then 2 service managers. The service managers manage the crews, the equipment, any callbacks, stuff like that, training, etc. So the business doesn't require much out of me typically when we're not in the busy season right now. So I am like kind of driving us to get this reset done. Um, but during the normal times, I'll have a 1 hour a week meeting with the team, and we'll go over important KPIs, metrics in the company, and and then set them loose. I literally have the exact metrics that we need for the business. I can troubleshoot anything in the company by just looking at the numbers and the way they're laid out. And essentially, I've created a document for my general manager. So when he does see, bad numbers, he knows how to troubleshoot it. He knows what he's going to look for. And those metrics are actually on a TV screen down in the office. So they are, and we link them up with our targets. And so I set the targets for the year. And if they're good, then the number will show in green. If they're red, it will show in red. It's a couple of cool little line graphs, bar graphs, etc. So,
What are some of the most important metrics that you're tracking regularly?
um, so you want to think of the business like a money machine or a vending machine, right? You want somebody to throw a couple quarters in the top, let's say $1, and you want to spit out $10 at the bottom. So if you think of a square vending machine, you have metric number one, how many people are putting money in that vending machine? What's my total leads? Starts with there. And I put them in order all the way down. So you got total leads, you have scheduled estimates, you have total sales, and then you have scheduled jobs. How many scheduled jobs? You have completed jobs or completed revenue, right? And then you have collected revenue, and then you have bank account balance. So leads in the top, there's all your metrics straight down the pipe. And those are the numbers that you need to be paying attention to. And I mean, it's business, right? I mean, like, why would I have a business that doesn't make money? I have to keep track of my bank account balance every single week. Like, I'm looking at it. Like, I need to know how much money's in there. There's no point in me doing it if I'm not going to make profit, right? So it's not to be prude or anything like that. But who the hell does business that doesn't make a profit? I mean, I can think
Yeah.
of a few, but they've already had successful businesses, and maybe they use this business to, help their employees. Like Chick-fil-A, for instance. You got Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. And, they sell their sauce in the store. Well, they pay their bills with, the overhead with the sauce. The profit actually goes into a bank account for them to send their employees to college. So I
Wow.
like that is really cool. And
Hmm.
obviously I'm not at that stage. We have to make profits. So um, you know, some
Yeah.
customers think that have a red cross on our back,
Mhm.
and I'm like, see ya.
Yeah. How do you manage customers how do you manage difficult customers? Do you have difficult customers in your business? Do they exist in your business?
Can you imagine me managing a difficult customer? I mean, look at me. No. So that's why you have to have buffers in your place. You have to have
Yeah.
employees. You have to have managers. I don't deal with it well. I am kind of a. Am I allowed to say bad words on here?
Yeah, go for it.
I am a fuck off type of dude. Give me my money. We did your service. Give me my money, or I'll see you in court.
Yeah.
So it's best that I don't deal with that. So that's just not my personality. I'm the type of guy that cuts a trail through the forest with a machete, hacking like crazy, relentless, just chopping through the jungle while everybody follows my lead, right? But I'm not the person that goes back and maintains the trail. I'm heading through the forest cutting all these trails,
I hear
so
you.
there are visionaries and there are implementers, and I am more of a visionary versus the person who actually implements the system. I come
Yeah.
up with the system. I'm just not the person to deal with that stuff. I've overcome a lot of adversity in my life, and I have, pretty thick skin, but I just don't take bullshit too well.
Yeah.
And especially when somebody is like talking trash about one of the people that maybe work for me too, I get really defensive. Um, I would go slap somebody in their face, for talking bad on my employees. Like I strategically hire my employees. There's a specific process that I have when I hire my employees. So, and not only is it like a punch in the face to the employee, I feel protective of that employee. It's also a punch in the face to me. Like I hired that guy and I see something in him that you don't. And I just have this mentality like, if the customer doesn't see that, they're probably not our customer. Next.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I don't spend time worrying about that stuff. I also don't spend time worrying about my competition because I don't give a shit. And I appreciate my customers and I focus on the customer experience. Competition, I don't really care. Um, I just know that our company is treating our customers better than our competition. That's all I worry about.
Absolutely. All right, we're running short on time, but
Absolutely.
I mean, this has been really awesome. And I mean, I wish we could go for another hour because there's so much that all pressure washers and all service business owners could learn from you. So, I do have one more general question for you that we see in Google all the time.
Hmm.
How do you start a pressure washing business, or even more generally, a home service business?
Yeah. How do you start a pressure washing business? You can do it. You can do it. You need to, um, starting a business from the ground by yourself is very hard. It's one of the hardest things to do. That's why 90% of small businesses fail like within the first couple months or years or whatever. I think the metric or the number is like only 10% of small businesses actually make more than $1 million. So it's a very low percentage. It's hard. There's a lot of shit that you got to do that you're not getting paid for in the front end. And if you are dependent on that income, I would ease myself into it, you know. That's kind of how I did it. I eased myself into it until I could build it up enough to go full time. I know that you know, you can make 1,000 plus a day doing this stuff. You can do it by yourself, making 1,000 plus a day. There are guys that are doing jobs for like really cheap, and you know, they're not hitting $1,000 a day. They may not even be hitting $500 a day. They won't last. I can just tell you that right now. And there may be people out there that tell you differently, but I can tell you, as the economy, as everything is inflating, they won't last. So you have to be doing $1,000 a day or more. Yeah, it hurts to sell your first customer, but once you sell your first customer for over $1,000, you're like, oh my God, that's way easier than I thought. Most people are willing to pay. You want to focus on the value that you're fixing to give them. So back to starting a pressure washing industry or pressure washing, I would go, you know, part time. You know, you really do need to have like a little bit of money, like you know, even credit cards. What's your risk factor? You know, you need to figure out what your risk factor is. If it were for me, knowing what I know now, I would save my cash. I would do the cheapest marketing things that I could possibly do first, and get some calls, do some estimates, schedule them out like 30 days. And then
Hmm.
once you get kind of a packed schedule or whatever, then maybe take a credit card and, you know, go buy whatever equipment you need and make payments on that. That way you're not coming out so much up front. There's a lot of different ways you can, you know, approach a family member. Maybe you have a friend. Like here's the crazy thing is there's no shortage of money. Somebody somewhere's got money. Like I don't even worry about it. Like there's money everywhere. It's printed. Like just go get it. You could go get it from somebody. Like it's crazy that people just get in this like tunnel vision and they just feel so stuck. Like there's an option for everything. And guess what? The only way to fail in business, you know what it is? The only way
To
to fail in
quit,
business?
to
To
give
quit,
up.
to give up. That's it. There's always a
Absolutely.
solution for every single problem. You just have to be relentless and you have to knock it out. You ever played that game with the Oculus where you're swatting at the
Oh yeah,
squares and
Beat
the
Saber or
triangles?
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's what I consider business. Is like how fast can you swat them? You know what I mean? Swat the problems as fast as you can. So,
That's
um,
awesome. Hey,
but
the only
anyway,
way you can lose in business is if you give up and quit. That's amazing.
absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Corey, thank you so much.
not a
Pacific
problem.
Northwest
Pro
pressure
wash.
washing, pro wash.
Yep.
Okay.
Pacific Northwest Pro Wash. You can check it out. Also, you can follow my YouTube. I think it's Pressure Washing with Corey on YouTube. I'll put a ton of videos there. I just dropped one yesterday. I'll probably have a really cool e-course coming out soon. So I'll put a link in this video wherever we post it. If you want to, you know, get on my calendar for a video chat or whatever. I am going to be, you know, creating this e-course, and I would love to get some feedback on like what people might want in the course. Obviously, I have a good, good guideline, right? But I would like to just kind of understand what other people would like to see in that course. So yeah, I'll drop a calendar link, and yeah, I'll drop all the links down in here.
Awesome. Pacific Northwest Pro Wash, pressure washing with Corey YouTube channel, e-course coming out soon. Corey, thank you so much for the conversation and the knowledge. I really appreciate it. And hey, I look forward to keeping up with you and seeing what you're up to next.
Absolutely, can't wait to talk again. Have a wonderful day.